Couple of Alabama wide receivers learning from arguably the best wide receiver in Alabama history, a Heisman Trophy winner and a Super Bowl champ. We're going to get into that. Xavier Crowell picking his school, and that date has now been set. Top target for the Alabama Crimson Tide. One of the greatest games that I ever went to was Alabama against Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl. Mike Leach on the sideline for Tech. And D'Amico Ryan starring for the Crimson Tide on defense. He's in the Hall of Fame there. We're going to get into that as well. Show's brought to you by Pearl River Resort down in Philadelphia, Mississippi, up in Philadelphia, Mississippi, over in Philadelphia, wherever you might be. But, guys, thanks for hanging out with us on your Memorial Day weekend. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's talk a little Alabama football. Everybody else is off, and that's why we're working today for you guys. So roll Tide, everybody. Let's go. All right, guys, thanks for hanging and roll Tide. It's the Bama Tailgate show on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Thank you for being here, and let's talk some Alabama football. Let's start out with this. I love this. I absolutely love it when you hear about guys going and learning from the best. And Devonte Smith is the only Alabama wide receiver, the only pure wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy, right? And he's also a Super Bowl champ, and he's had a great career. And it's not like he's big and strong and just more muscular than everybody else. He is strong and he's fast and he's durable, but his work ethic is the thing that set him apart from a lot of the competition. So anytime you see Ryan Hollywood Williams and Isaiah Horton heading down to Central Florida to spend some time training with Smitty, that's a good thing for Alabama because they certainly could use that. So they went to Tampa. It's something called House of Athlete. And Smitty trains at 5 a.m. Hey, guys, sleep quick because you're going to be up. You're going to be running routes. You're going to be out there in the morning, and then you're going to be running in the heat of the day, and you're going to be doing it the way that Smitty does it, who is an absolute monster. Now, the thing about this for me, and we don't know a whole lot about Isaiah Horton. Remember, he transferred from Miami, and he's going to be one of the star receivers on the Alabama team this year. And I said we don't know a lot. I mean, he just hasn't played Alabama football yet, but he's played college football. The thing about Ryan Williams is, to me, he really is smart for watching and learning from Smitty. I mean, it's such a big part of what he's doing, and that's emulating Smitty because they're similar in size. They're similar in build. You know, what are you working on? Like, how do you stay healthy? You know, how do you, at this size and speed, maintain in a sport full of giants and guys that are super strong, you know, so that you don't get hurt. And I love that connection there. Now, this is something that has happened over the last 3 years, but those two guys, according to our friends at On3 and Charlie Potter, are the only two guys who took Smitty up on it and, are trained and took advantage of the opportunity to train down in Miami. I love it, though. You know, I love it. I love them going down there and putting in the time and the effort, learning from a guy that's been there. And also, you know, kind of the other part of it to me, too, is just, you know, that Alabama connection. And that's something that Horton's probably figuring out. It's special at Alabama. It matters at Alabama. People care at Alabama. You're part of a fraternity at Alabama. And so I think that part of it is also really cool. But you're talking about two of the most integral parts of Alabama's offense this year. And then, going back to learning from Devonte Smith, a guy that did everything the right way, a guy that put the time and the work in, a guy that you want, if you're Ryan Williams, to emulate, not just catching the football and scoring touchdowns, but also understanding how the guy was able to maintain through the rigors of college football. And when Waddle went down in 2020, he was the guy, and he rose to the occasion. And that's why he's known as one of the greats of all time. But, I mean, he's had some of the best catches of all time. Shank said on here that he feels like the Heisman is more than just a one-year award, even though it's really not. It kind of is. And he's exactly right. I mean, think about Smitty, right? Touchdown catch against Mississippi State, freshman year, wins the game. Obviously, the greatest football catch in the history of college football. A walk-off touchdown to beat Georgia in overtime. 2017, Smitty. Best catch ever? Yes. You can't beat that. There's just no way. And then the 2020 year where he leads Alabama to a national championship, and now he's a Super Bowl champ. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. And I love that connection. And that's what Alabama football is all about. All right, let's change gears. But first, let me tell you that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, 2 amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit. You don't need a membership, but I'm telling you, when you walk in there, you're going to feel like you're at Augusta. It's the Augusta you can play. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham. Take me up on it. This is the time of year where you're going to want to go out, hit the greens, then swing over to Philip M. Steakhouse, cap off the night with some old fashions and some steaks, relive some of those great shots. It really is a fantastic course, but they got table games and slots. They're the best slots in the entire South at Pearl River, Silver Star and Gold Moon. And then if you want to put some money down on games, you got the Timeout Sports Lounge, but bring the family. You got Geyser Falls, which is the water park, the spa, so much to do, even some concerts out there as well. So take advantage of it. Pearl River Resort. We appreciate them. All right. Xavier Crowell. Keeping an eye on this guy. I have targeted him, like just me, but I've targeted him as a critical Alabama guy that you want to get. He's the number 2 running back, according to On3, from Jackson High School, South Alabama. And we didn't know when he was going to announce, right? Well, he's going to make his announcement on June 26th. So that's coming up soon, a little over about a month from today. And this is a guy that you want to get. Let me tell you about Crowell. 5'11", 210-pound running back. He's given up a year of high school to go to college early. He's doing the same thing that we saw Ryan Williams doing. Some other guys are doing the same thing now. But he's got an official visit scheduled for Alabama June 20 to the 22nd. And that's, a few days before he makes his announcement. Alabama and him have connected multiple times. DeBoer knows how important this guy is. I'm telling you, this is an important guy because you got to win the in-state players. He would have been the number 1 running back in the class of 27, but he wants to get out of high school early, and I don't blame him because eventually this NIL Wild West is going to end, and he might not make as much money. But he's going to Georgia, he's going to Texas, he's going to Auburn and Florida State, and then finishing up at Alabama. Bama perceived as the front runner to get him. He 31 touchdowns, just under 2,000 yards. He is a 4A phenom, and he is a guy, like I said before, that Alabama really, really, really needs to get. And I put him, and I put Tank, and I put a couple other guys that haven't decided yet in that category and say that we need to nail these guys down. We need to lock the door on the state of Alabama, just like when Nick Saban was there. And Crowell, one of those guys. All right, final topic on today's show. And can I ask you this, guys? Please like, subscribe, thumbs up. Also, take advantage of our code for Daniel Moore's. You guys want to pimp out your man cave like mine? I should probably change the angle so you can see the wall of fame over here. This is all the Saban championship prints. And then I got Antoine Petway laying one up. Daniel Moore, do another basketball print, please. I want Nate Oates and I want Mark Sears. Just asking. Do me a solid because I need another basketball print. But anyway, you guys can take advantage of this. 20% off, newlifeart.com when you use the promo code Bama Tailgate. All right, 14th Cotton Bowl Classic Hall of Fame class. It was 2006. I loaded up with Basketball Steve, with Chad Catfish Anderson, and we headed to Dallas. And I was sick, but I went anyway because we hadn't been in a big bowl game for a long time. And I'm actually looking at the T-shirt I got from in there here in the studio, right? But it was awesome. It was Mike Leach against Mike Shula. A couple Mikes going head to head. Mike Shula's best team at Alabama. Mike Leach had just an amazing offense. And Bama went in there with D'Amico Ryans and crew and beat those guys and just smothered. It was a smothering defensive performance. I don't know why in that game, and any of you guys that were there know what I'm talking about. They had like a bunch of holes. They got guys separated too far on the offensive line. Like they thought that would, somehow do something. And instead we just like ran right through their line. D'Amico Ryans had a big sack in the game. Alabama won. It was really one of the best bowl experiences I ever had. And for his performance, D'Amico Ryans joining Bo Jackson and some other really great players in this year's Hall of Fame class for the Cotton Bowl, right? So it was awesome, man. I actually had, and he said my 2006 Cotton Bowl, I got my first portable DVD player as the bowl gift. I remember that. I had a DVD. I'll probably do somewhere around here of that game. Go back and watch. I relived that game on DVD so many times. But it's a great class that he's a part of. Jerome Bettis, the fullback. David Cutcliffe. He was Tennessee's offensive coordinator, and then he was Ole Miss's coach there. Tony Davis from Nebraska. So it's cool. You know what? The Cotton Bowl to me, I guess if you ask me like number one bowl game, it's either the Sugar Bowl or the Cotton Bowl. It's got to be. Maybe the Rose Bowl, but we're not in the Rose Bowl enough. Like they keep kind of like they've got their tie-in with their two conferences. Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, my two favorites. And that Cotton Bowl in 06 was amazing. I can still see myself at, I think it was Billy Bob's, having a good time, like Urban Cowboy. And I'd go back again today. Anyway, D'Amico Ryans has had a phenomenal career. Phenomenal. Left Alabama. He's the coach of the Texans. He was a great defensive coordinator. Man, he makes us proud. Every time he talks, you listen to him and you're like, man, I'm glad that this guy represents us. And maybe one day he may decide he wants to coach in college and he could be Alabama's head coach. And I would have no problem at all with D'Amico Ryans. So congratulations, D'Amico Ryans. Bo Jackson, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Bo Jackson. Who didn't want to be a star running back and a star baseball player? But he went to Auburn. So, yeah, whatever. All right. Hey, like, subscribe, thumbs up, get in the comments section. You guys tell me, were you at how many of you were even alive for the 06 Cotton Bowl? Hopefully a lot. But were you there? What'd you think? It was so fun. It was at the old place before Jerry World. And a great game. Great game. That Texas Tech started to move the ball at the end of the game. We beat them anyway. And who didn't love Mike Leach, right? So anyway, like, subscribe, thumbs up. We'll do it again soon. We got Shank swinging back with us for a couple shows next week. We appreciate you so much. And I love to say this, but Roll Tide. We're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, as I mentioned before, in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two really fantastic golf courses. So as you plan your summer vacation, plan on being there, and tell me what you think. I want to know what you think about the golf course. Roll Tide.
To Pearl River Resort.